They're going to break my top and bottom jaw. The anaesthetic was the most painful thing I've ever had. I've never counted my calories properly, but I've started now, but I probably average like 6,000 sometimes.
No, you're not. 1.3 million. That's incredible growth.
I didn't really, in the process, think this is a result of doing social.
Cool. Today on the podcast, in a bit of a different setup at TYX Studios here in Tower Yard, but I'm joined by one of our outreachers, Rob Green. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you.
Thanks. First ever podcast for you.
It is. First ever.
How are you feeling?
Bit nervous, but excited.
It'll be fine.
Excited,
in like 5 minutes, you'll forget there's like lights and cameras looking at you, and don't worry about the red light. Just it's chilled. I was speaking to Dylan, your manager, this morning, and I was trying to think of. Every time I do a podcast, I'm trying to focus on kind of one subject about an individual. So, you know, I've had creators on and they're talking about their social media journey. I've had creators on talking about their business journey. I've had people talking on. I've had people on the podcast talking about their ADHD, things like that. I think something that's really different for you, and we were just talking about it before the podcast, that is, quite unique for most creators, is you didn't mean to be a creator. Yeah, you kind of, for want of a better word, fell into it. So I think that would be a good place to start and kind of talk about how you fell into making content for the first time. Yeah,
so leaving sixth form, at sixth form, my last year, we all had to come up with our own design briefs, and I've always been quite like business minded. I always wanted to like have my own business, didn't really know what in. But in year 13, we had to like pick a problem and then solve it. So I was always interested in fashion and design. So I picked like not being able to choose what to wear and like struggling with outfit choices because like I'd have a full wardrobe and just never wear, or I'd wear the same thing on repeat, or I just wouldn't utilize everything that I had. So I came up with Trendway, which I then kind of took on through all of year 13.
Yeah. And what is Trendway for anyone that has no idea?
So it's a social shopping app. So we partner with brands. So there's over 400 on there, and it's a place where I link my outfits, or you can create before buying. So you can add items as well that I own in real life to my virtual wardrobe. And then all of that is shoppable for others. And then it's like a social network mixing Pinterest, ASOS, Instagram kind of together. So this was back in 2018, so quite a while ago. And my teacher really pushed me at that point. She was like, do this in real life. And at that point, I already knew I wanted to do that because I kind of set out, I thought if there's any time to like start a business, it's now, like when I'm having to like do a business plan, because I also did business studies at A-level. Yeah. So mixing that in with design, I thought, well, I might as well just start it now kind of thing. And then that was a kind of like a long year, just really developing the idea. And then I got into a design uni in London where I dropped out 2 weeks in. I just didn't tell my family. I just dropped out because I just couldn't like...
How long did you not tell them for?
Like until I had my plan sorted out of what I would do after, because I was there for 2 weeks and like I knew I didn't want to do uni because I just felt like the course that I was doing, I could have done what I wanted to do without going to uni. Whereas like a lot of degrees out there, like you do need it. Like if you're, I don't know what field you're going into, like doctors or vet or something, you need it. But I just felt like I didn't, and it wasn't really kind of, I also didn't get the uni life. Like it was a uni in London. Yeah. So I couldn't really like stay. I'd commute every day.
It's different.
Yeah, not the same. So yeah, I dropped out, and then I didn't have any money at this point as well. So I just put together like a pitch email. Like I spent ages on YouTube, like searching how to like do a pitch basically, and sent loads of emails out to investors, and got a few back. So I met with them in London like that following week or the following 2 weeks, and then met with one in particular, and he decided to invest. So I then had the kind of plan, but it was a co-investment. So because it was just an idea at this stage, they would put in some of the money, I would put in like 10% or 20% of it. But for that, I just worked in my local Tesco for like 4 days a week, but all of the money just went towards the co-investment for like a year kind of thing. So it was in development for like a year and a half. Yeah.
So is that investment to literally develop the app, pay for developers to do it? Because you weren't doing that yourself, right?
No, that's annoying. Yeah, that was the annoying part. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I tried to do it.
It's hard.
But it's hard, yeah.
I've had friends who have launched like, not similar kind of products, but they've launched apps and they've gone high and low in the different types of developers that you can get. And you can get some really cheap developers, but then if you want a good developer, it's a lot of money.
Well,
right?
this is a hard lesson we learned because so in hindsight shouldn't have done the initial development, because we developed the whole app cheaply, but I thought, let's just get it off the ground. Like you can never be perfect starting out, so like let's just get the app going. Quite like the content at first, the videos I created were awful, but like you just put them out anyway because you like learn on the go. But we had to just completely redevelop the whole app again because the code they used was, you couldn't transfer it across. So to like upgrade, like with when the iPhone upgrades or something, we couldn't. The code couldn't. It wasn't like a multi like platform kind of code. So that was kicking the teeth. So that was all money wasted basically, because we had to then redevelop it, reinvest. And at that point, I just invested my own money. I didn't seek more investment because it just gets more complicated that way, like bringing another one on before you've even like launched.
Yeah, got a lot of chefs in the kitchen at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So so I was working at Tesco for years, saving up money, launching it. It took probably about 2 years more than what I expected to launch. And my family at the time were like, what are you doing? Like, you've said you got these plans and you're doing nothing, but like it was going, but it just was very slow.
Yeah.
And then I left Tesco, well, kind of got made redundant at Tesco. So that ceased. And then I was left with no job. So I started up in car insurance part-time at the meantime. And at this point, Trendway had launched. So I also did a shoot to launch it with a few like people off Towie. So I worked on like the whole kind of campaigns and everything. And I really liked that side of it. That was kind of where I got a kick out of, like doing campaigns or like designing things, like coming up with marketing.
Paying them? Or was it like oh, right, okay.
So that was the other thing. So we then started to use influencers, and like we did influencer marketing with Trendway, but for a startup,
you're doing my job.
Yeah. Well, I don't know to your scale, not really your scale, but trying to anyway. But it wasn't like, for a startup, we had no money. All the money we were getting, we had to put into like developing the app, because it was very like a stuck between a rock and a hard place, because the money we did have, we wanted to use for marketing, but then also you need to develop the app more to make it worth the money you spend on marketing without doing more investment. Yeah,
and then you get more users on, and then it needs to be more
exactly. Yeah. So that's what we found. So when I started posting TikToks, when they would blow up, the app would blow up, and then it literally would shut down. Like we couldn't get it up, and then the developers we were using, because they're not on it full time, they couldn't always work on it. So it'd be down for like 2 days when like everyone's like, "Where's this from?" And I'll be linking it on Trendway kind of thing, directing it to it. But anyway, so when I left Tesco's, I started up in part-time insurance and was using influencers to promote the app. We started with like micro influencers at first and had them earning a commission, which in hindsight now, like I look at it from that point of view, and it's like, no one wants that. Like people don't really. Did
it work for Trendway?
It did at the very start.
So it drove traffic.
Yeah, it drove traffic, but it's not sustainable, because people, it takes time to do content, and it's like a full-time thing, and just commission doesn't cut it, especially when like affiliate networks, you get paid in like 3 months or 4 months, and it's just like, it's not enough, especially when it's only like small percentages with what we were working with. So then I left my other job because I hated insurance so much. I didn't really get on, like it was fine, it was like good, but it was just like a bit mundane for me, sat at an office all day, kind of like call center. So I left that job with no job, and didn't start TikTok at this point. So this was like March last year, so March 22. And March 22. And then we were working with the influencers and it just wasn't kind of getting the content I thought. And I was directed, we had one girl that was really good. She was like an intern for us and she was doing TikToks, and daily I would tell her, I would like go on TikTok and say, do this video today, do this video.
Yeah.
And I would like plan out week by week, month by month TikTok content. And it was really fun. And I thought, if I'm doing this, like I could just do it myself as well. Like, I'll get her to do it, but I'll also like just try myself. Yeah. And it was quite a hard shift mindset wise to do that, because I just had an Instagram with like my friends on. I'd look at like meme pages, that would be it. Like I didn't post anything.
Never put content about yourself really.
No, like it wasn't.
Were you, like you mentioned your mates there, like were you nervous about what they were going to say?
Yeah, I was at first, but because it was for the business and like
it made it easier.
And I was just like, who cares what people think? Like people are going to have something to say no matter what, aren't they? So
they look at it now and go, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Like, and even I do, like at the start I thought, everyone's like, oh, should I put this out? Like, is it good? Is it cringe? Like my videos were like, even I look at them and I was like, that's really cringy.
They're going to be though. Those, like, I'm sure every creator or anybody that posts or does anything creative, the first time you do it, it's going to, but I guarantee that you'll look at your videos from yesterday and in 2 years time, you'll be like, what was that?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Just from like editing techniques or quality of video or, you know, format types.
Yeah.
You're going to look at it and be like, what is that?
Yeah.
So you'd never, up to that point, posted any content.
No.
Did you know how to edit? Did you know how to film?
No.
So how did you like learn how to do that?
Well, because I'd been looking at TikToks a lot, like I had TikTok and I was obviously working with ideas for influencers to do.
Yeah.
Because I would like manage campaigns and like come up with ideas and things. So I knew what, as I can make, because it's quite niche as well. There's not a lot of men's fashion creators really.
No. Not doing it really, really well.
Yeah. And I didn't see that. And I didn't really see, like, I like to look at nice videos, like as in edited well or like they're aesthetic kind of thing. And I couldn't really, there's a lot of females doing that, but couldn't really see a lot of males doing that.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't know how to edit, but that was just kind of like self-taught, kind of just like started, tested things out, different things, watched a few videos as well, like tutorials on how to do it. And just started my first video really. And then obviously the views were very low, like I wasn't getting any, but I wasn't really aiming for that either. It was just kind of like I was posting it to do something. Like I didn't want to just sit around. I felt bad like telling everyone else to do videos where I was just like sitting doing nothing myself. So I just thought I'd have a crack at it, like see how it goes. And then I remember like the first video that blew up, like it was a smart casual outfit, and I was like laying in bed and I woke up and like there was like hundreds of notifications, and I thought like, what friend has been spamming me with like TikToks? And then it was just a video, like the notifications, and I thought, oh. And then from that, I've never gone a day without posting that day.
Really?
Yeah, like I've just like...
See, that consistency is impressive, especially for someone that obviously, you know, it's not like you grew up making content. You've completely self-taught yourself. So what was it like in terms of when you started posting? Because your account, for anyone that doesn't know, because this is March 22.
Yeah.
So you've been posting for, I don't know the math, but like 18 months, less than?
Yeah, 18. Like 18 yeah, months, about 18, right? Yeah.
You're now on what, 1 million followers? Just over
1.3 million on
1.3 million. That's incredible growth, even for TikTok. And TikTok, people can grow very quickly. That is really, really impressive. Why is it that consistency, you think? Or is it the quality of content and the value that you're adding?
I think both, yeah. I think definitely consistency comes to a massive factor. Like, you have to be consistent with it, like post at least once a day, especially starting out. That's what I had in my mind. In fact, I think I did like 3 times a day when I started out. But also like providing value, like as long as I truly believe like you have to love the content you post.
Mate, I say this on like every podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you don't like that content, you're never going to make it well, but you're never going to be consistent, because there's going to be days where you don't want to do it. And if you don't make content that you frankly love making, you'll never ever make. Well, you might blow up for a year, but you'll never have a sustained career.
No.
So don't try and chase people.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You've got to like really love it yourself, find value in it yourself. Like if I make a video, I step back and like look at it from like another person viewing it. Like, what do I want to see? Yeah. Like as a man, like there's not a lot of info out there, not a lot of tips or like people doing videos, but it's like very like seasonal as well. Okay, like Christmas or autumn's coming up. It's like autumn wear or like Valentine's outfits, like date night outfits, because a lot of men want to like are interested in how they look or like how they appear, what they wear, but they don't really say it. They're not really vocal about it. So like doing videos that are like really open and like.
Have you found it tough to engage with men online then? Because I feel like we've got a lot of fashion creators, but they're mainly female fashion creators, and obviously they have a huge audience of female fans that are going to their page to get inspo and engage with them. Have you found it difficult to engage, or have you actually found a really good community on TikTok? Yeah,
I've found a really good community, really, especially because I started with fashion. Yeah. That was a main outlet. Obviously, I've kind of now gone into more like vlogs, eating videos and things, but my main platform and my main like user base is men interested in fashion.
Let's talk about that though. You said about your content's changed and you've shared a bit more of your life. Why did you do that? And were you nervous to do that?
I wasn't nervous to do it. I wanted to do it basically, like, even when I was a lot younger, like I did always want to do YouTube. That was kind of like not like a definite career path, but just you know, as a kid I was like, oh, it'd be fun to do YouTube kind of thing. And where my TikTok then kind of took off and started doing it like full time and everything, my mindset kind of changed on, okay, where can I take this like in the future? Like how can I really develop this and do more than just being someone who does outfit videos? Because I feel like I do want to start YouTube and things, and I will later this year, but like, and people as well were commenting like, oh, let's see who the man behind the outfits are, like let us know like who you are a bit more. And that got me thinking like, okay, like I did want to do that anyway, but like I wasn't sure if people like wanted to see that.
So did it have a positive effect on your engagement and your views when you started doing that? It did.
Yeah.
It's interesting because a lot of creators are always worried about switching up their content. But again, the advice we always tend to give is, well, if you're adding the value that people are asking for, like you've just said then, that's what people are asking for, then there's nothing really to worry about. And also you're going to build a different type of audience. You might lose some followers, but you will actually gain a more engaged fan base.
Yeah. And I think it's good to have like more than one like pillar. Like got the fashion, but then there's lifestyle.
I mean, you've done, you know, you've done fitness campaigns or like nutrition campaigns, and like you never would have done that if you just stuck to fashion. Because it can definitely be limiting if you stay in one niche over time. Actually, it's a good segue into your skinny fat boy series. People love that. Yeah, great name. I've got to ask you this. Are you actually eating that much food? Or are you just filming it?
No, I do eat.
It's actually that much food.
A lot. Yeah, I eat a lot.
Give, for anyone again who's kind of listening and hasn't seen this series, give an example of what you eat in a day.
So if I'm having Weetabix, it's always 7.
Why?
Because I just feel like I wake up genuinely starving. Like I say it in my videos, like I wake up, my stomach's rumbling, but I genuinely do. Like I am so hungry. I don't know why. But why? People say I've got worms, but I definitely don't have worms. I mean, I hope I don't have worms.
I think you'd know if you had worms.
Yeah, surely. But so I don't know. I just had 7 one day and stuck with it.
Is it? This is so stupid. But is it 7 on its own, or is it with something?
Oh no, I was in like I have with milk, or
no, like people have it with like fruit or like
more sugar. To be fair, like I wouldn't rarely I would have like banana or Nutella on it. But I'd like put sugar on it always.
7 Weetabix just to begin.
Yeah, but then when there's milk, and you know when they will like mush up, it kind of like
it's like a porridge.
It's like one, it's like a porridge. So I'm Weetabix mush.
So that's breakfast.
Yeah.
Anything else for breakfast? Is that
normally scrambled egg on toast is like my go-to. Yeah, like because where I like film in the day, so I'd wake up and I like get loads of calories in. Yeah. Because I do I've started with an online coach now as well, so I try and get in my like a lot of calories.
Got you. Surely they're not saying have 7 Weetabix.
Well, because I'm like bulking, like I can just eat whatever. Yeah.
Fair. And then what's the rest of the day look like, food wise?
My go-tos are Weetabix, beans on toast, scrambled egg on toast, pasta, like tuna pasta, sweet corn. I've never counted my calories properly, but I've started now. But I probably average like 6,000 sometimes.
No, you're not.
Yeah, like if I eat out, I don't.
Like that's
but my metabolism was always, because I used to run. I used to compete running.
Right,
like I used to run like 5 days a week.
Like what swimmers have though. It's ridiculous.
I know, but like I used to be really skinny. Like my metabolism was just like sky high.
For anyone who's listening who's like, what the hell are they on about? Just go watch the videos, because it blows my mind every time I see it. I'm like, if I ate that, I would be a balloon, mate. But I think it's just...
I think that shocked me as well, because I don't even know why I posted a what I eat in a day.
But people love it.
But people love it, yeah. I can't remember why I did it, but I remember one blowing up, and I thought... And now I'm out and people are like, it's either like, oh, you're the guy that does fashion, or you're the skinny fat boy.
I love that you've made an account to be a fashion creator and somebody's thinking that you're a skinny fat boy.
I know, they're like, oh, you're the skinny fat boy. I'm like, I don't know where, like, because it was very just natural. Like, I just did it because I thought, like, this is my life, like day in the life kind of thing. And then people just love,
because you're sharing a lot of more fitness content and stuff like that as well. We were talking just before we started recording about, I guess, the pressures of being online. Yeah. And I guess if you've got such a high metabolism, wanting to stay a certain shape and size, do you feel more pressure to stay that shape and size now you're having to post and be online every day? Yeah,
I would say there is like I'm quite thick-skinned in terms of like...
Like, do you read comments and stuff like that?
I do read comments, and like, don't get me wrong, I do get some hate, but I think it's inevitable if you're online. Like, you have got to just look past that. But I'm lucky in the sense I don't get a lot of hate. But I just kind of ignore it anyway, even if I read them. I just choose not to read on the filtered comments. Although if I do, sometimes I do, and I'm like, why did I read that? But yeah, I think there is a pressure. Well, not a pressure, more like I want to.
You want to look good.
Yeah, I want to, like, you see yourself filming every day, and it's like, you don't want to have to be like, oh, I don't want to do that because I look like this, or can't do that angle, or like, which is bad. It's quite toxic, and like, that is a toxic side of it. But, and I wish it wasn't the case, but it kind of just has formed that way, and I'm aware of it. But it's not like it doesn't affect me, kind of thing. But I am aware of it.
Do you have pressure? I always find this interesting for somebody that works, or is a fashion creator, or somebody that just works in fashion. Do you I can go out wearing anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it doesn't matter. This is not my job. Like, my job is to run a business. Like, as long as I'm doing that, I can wear kind of what I want.
Yeah.
Although I've been trying to change my fashion lately because the team have been making fun of me. So,
oh no,
Dylan's been helping.
Rude.
No, Dylan's
oh, has he?
Yeah, he's been great about it, giving me advice about shoes and stuff.
Oh, cool.
But I don't care. But like, every time I see you in real life, you're dressed really well, and I'm like, does Rob always dress well, or is it like only when I'm seeing him, or are you feeling do you feel pressure that in case you're recognized, or like are you always like every day you've got to dress well?
When I leave the house, I would say I try dress well.
Right. So you're never in like joggers and
I am. Although saying that, if I've got to run like the post office or something, like I'll be in joggers or like PJs, whatever. But no, if I am leaving the house, like I will make a conscious effort of like, okay, what am I wearing, kind of thing. Is
it quite difficult to kind of like stay on top of having enough clothes to wear to be able to keep it fresh?
Yeah, it is. That's probably one of the hardest parts. Like, my wardrobe now and everything is just like massive, like just heaps of clothes everywhere.
Because you're having to stay on top of those trends to make your content.
Yeah.
And like, it's not even the financial element, but how do you stay on top of the sustainability element of it?
Well, I do try and like for instance, these trousers I'm wearing now are in so many of my videos.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, I posted, not these ones, but like if I'm wearing the same trousers over and over again, people will say, oh, use a different pair of trousers. It's like, well, you all like them. Like, I just interchange them with different outfits.
Like it's not like a, you know, there's bigger things in the world going on, but like if I go into like the office and I think, oh fuck, I wore this t-shirt the other day, team are gonna know I wore a t-shirt the other day. You must feel that all the time online, because like if you wore like the trousers again and someone comments that, you're probably like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then it pressures you to go buy other clothes.
Yeah, and it is bad because if I'm going to like an event or something, I'm like, right, wear something I've not worn before.
Yeah.
But that's like I don't need to be doing that. But to be fair, the past like few events I've worn the same trousers but just changed the top. Like,
and I guess people don't
realise,
unless they're at every event.
But it's more like the content, not even like at the event kind of thing. It's more like getting videos of like a picture or something.
How like, again, fashion is not my bag. It's just I've never there's like that and cars I just don't understand. Like I've
never understood cars.
I've never understood. I've got some friends and they love cars and they can like name different makes, models. I'm like, I have no interest in it.
No, neither do I.
But even from fashion, like I like trainers. I can get with trainers, but everything else, like I've never stayed on top of it. And then I've got other friends, and they're the types of friends where they'll wear something and I'm like, what are you wearing? But then 2 months later, that's the thing that everyone's wearing.
Right,
so like, we've got friends that were wearing like cord trousers before they became cool again. And you're like, what are you wearing, mate? Or like Birkenstocks before they became cool.
Yeah.
How do you stay ahead of those trends? Like, is it literally you're researching stuff, or do you think you have a knack for it?
Well, it's funny you bring this up because I was going to bring it up. Like everything is a trend at the end of the day. Like Crocs, like they came back. They were ugly before. Like even like not workwear, like mountain wear, like Arcturix and things like that was old before is now becoming new again. But to be honest, I don't like that stuff. Like I don't like wearing it, even though it's trendy and it's in trend. I wouldn't wear it myself. I don't research trends ever, and I don't see what people like to buy or like what they're wearing. I just wear what I like. And what I like the look of, like in that moment, or like for that occasion, or like for that event kind of thing.
Have you always been like that though, like not caring what the trend is?
Yeah, I've never really bought into like hype beast culture, if that's what you'd call it.
Yeah.
Because like, especially on TikTok, there's a lot of like fashion which is like just not really my style. It's nice, I can appreciate it, but like you would call it like, I don't know how you would describe it really, but like, you know, like keychains on like the belt loops and things like that. Like I'm not really into that, but like that is a trend. So technically if I saw that, I would have hopped onto that and like done that, but I just don't like it myself, which it comes back to the whole like posting content that is true to you, like that you like and that you find value in. Because if I did follow the trends and wear like Crocs or like an Arcturix sweater, like I wouldn't enjoy it, or I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't feel like,
and it'd be hard for you to kind of like promote wearing it in a way and talk, you know, articulately about it, or it'd be difficult. But something that we talked about talking about before the podcast is you have felt some pressure online to change stuff about yourself. And like we'll dive into it. So like you're about to go for jaw surgery, which sounds, one, incredibly painful, but two, just like a major change to the way that you look. So I guess the first question I've got about the jaw surgery is, why do you need to have it? And let's start there. Why do you need to have the jaw surgery?
So I've always had an underbite and like a asymmetry with my bottom and top jaw.
So like to the left kind of thing, right?
So that's always been there.
Right.
I didn't ever notice it, but I did notice it before I started TikTok, to be fair, but not like long before. Yeah. And I used to like be so carefree. Like I literally would go out without doing my hair, without like, I just didn't care at all. Yeah. Like who I was like 10 years, like 5 years ago, is completely different now. So yeah, that's why I need the jaw. And I to be fair, I was researching it for like 6 years trying to find.
Could you
how
like
to do
live
it.
without? Like, could you live without having?
So you could live without it. Like there are, and they even said to me there are celebrities out there that have it. They're fine. They just live with it.
Yeah.
And they offered me like counselling if I wanted to like just come to terms with it mentally. But I just said to them like, it's not really going to do much for me because I know it's there still. Like it wouldn't solve what I see as the issue, which I know in one hand is quite bad because I could live with it.
Yeah.
But also in my head, I'm like, but if I don't have to, then why would I?
Are there other ways to sort it without surgery?
No, literally just surgery.
So right, let's get it. How do they do it? What do they do?
So they're going to break my top and bottom jaw, and then they put like metal plates like here, and then move my top jaw forward, bottom jaw back and to the side, and then they like tape. Well, not tape. They band my like mouth shut, so I'll be like talking like with my teeth shut the whole time for like 2 weeks, maybe 3.
That sounds awful.
So it is intense, yeah. And my face after it's going to be like a balloon, yeah. It's
and
like,
you can't eat or anything like that.
No,
so for somebody
diet.
who loves eating, like we've just said.
And I think it is going to be a mentally challenging time because a lot of videos that I've seen of people having it, they said it's like the worst thing they've been through. Like it was so mentally, they're in pain, but also like it's a lot of like mental strain. Like obviously I hate not being active or not being able to do anything. So for me, that is going to be the hardest part. You're not going to be able
to go to the gym or anything like that. Are you going to make content during that time? Yeah,
so I've pre-planned, pre-filming 3 weeks worth of fashion content, and then in the meantime, so I do like my plan is to like do fashion content as well as like what I eat in a days, but it'll be like liquid diet or like the recovery process.
The people are going to love seeing that. Like I know you were talking about doing like 5 guys.
Like I'll blend. I think I'll do like a day blending a different food, but like also mixing in probably like my fashion with it somehow. But like blending a 5 guys or an Indian or a.
So I've got to ask then. So I mean, you don't chase trends. You get a bit of hate online, but nothing like crazy like some creators do. How much pressure have you felt to do the jaw surgery because of you being on socials? Yeah,
quite a lot to be fair. But I've never had comments of people pointing it out.
Right. Okay. So no one's ever said anything online.
No one's ever said anything.
So it's kind of it is you going.
There might have been like the odd like comment. Like I'm talking probably like the whole time I've been doing TikTok, maybe like 10 comments. Like there's only a handful, but to be fair, it's even one comment. Like if you read it and you're affected by it, it's one comment.
Yeah,
like you read it, and you feel it.
I don't think people understand. I don't think people understand that. I think when people are commenting, they just think it's a throwaway comment that no one's ever going to care about.
And I would never understand that as well.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah, to me, it's just completely baffling why you wouldn't just like scroll. Like, why would they sit there and comment? Like, I just can't. I can't wrap my head around it, and that's why I try not to let it affect me because, well, I say that here I am getting jaw surgery, but
but it sounds like it is something internal as well.
Yeah, no, it is both. Yeah,
but you didn't stop there.
No, didn't.
There is a reason why you're wearing a hat today.
Yeah.
So you've had a hair transplant.
Yeah.
Firstly, as somebody that is receding, I'm all here for it. And I'm all here for doing anything that makes you feel better. Yeah. If you can do it and you can afford it and it's healthy.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel, it's no different to me than maybe putting on makeup or, you know, going to the gym and feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
I may or may not have put a lift in my shoe once to an event to make me feel taller. What's the difference? What was that experience like? Because I've had a friend who's done it and it sounds painful.
The anesthetic was the most painful thing I've ever had. Like that was like stabbings in the back of my head for like half an hour. Yeah, multiple.
Oh, it's not just one?
No, that's what I thought. I thought anesthetic, just one needle in, that's what I'd have thought. We're done. No, this was like 100 like little injections, and some were like they would stab it in and then scrape. I don't know if they were scraping, but it honestly felt like I was just getting my head like. It
sounds like kind of like a tattoo, kind of like they.
Well, I've never had a tattoo,
and it feels like, although it's not, they're going in and out. It feels like they're pulling.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what it felt like for like a solid like half an hour. Well, maybe not that long, but that's what it felt like. And then after that, you were completely numb. The whole process took like 8 hours, which was very long.
Yeah.
But the afterwards, like after that, you felt no pain. It was more like I didn't really mentally prepare myself for it, I don't think. Like the whole like recovery and after, I just thought like I'd get it done and my hair would grow back and it'd be fine.
But I've seen it and it has grown back really well.
Yeah, it has, to be fair.
But and this is what I find quite fascinating about you having a hair transplant. Like your hairline wasn't that bad.
You say that, but like this also for videos, I would style my hair in a way that didn't look bad.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
like kind of that push stuff.
Yeah, like just style it in a way. Like a lot of men do it. To hide like their hairline, or if they want to like have a smaller forehead or whatever, they do that. I still
think there's a huge stigma around people that get a hair transplant though.
Yeah.
Like I think it's not yet become a thing where you're I've actually been around guys who have had it, and I think that when you're around other guys, they actually seem quite supportive. Like obviously your mates will kind of rip you for it a little bit, but in the general public, I think there is a stigma against it. Yeah. And I don't understand it because all you're doing is moving one bit of hair to another bit of your hair.
Yeah, it's just like getting anything done though. Like if you have a nose job, people get that loads, like lip filler, like I don't know, anything where you're like changing. Like I'm all for just getting, if you want, it's weird because on one hand, like I want to be like, just love yourself for who you are, like accept you, like your body, like love how you look, like there's nothing's ugly, like do you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But at the same time, if you're not happy with it, I'm all for like getting these little 100%. Tweaks and changes.
If it makes you feel more confident and happier day to day, and you can still love yourself but change yourself, can't you? But it feels like, at least from what you've been saying to me, the hair transplant was a lot more pushed by socials than the jaw was. Yeah, I would definitely say that. Yeah, because in my head, I thought, I'll have one eventually, but maybe like 10 years time, kind of thing. Yeah, when it's like back here.
When it's like my dad's. But
what did your mum and dad say about all this? Like,
well, they knew about the jaw, so that was like a.
You didn't tell them about the hair.
Well, I told them before I got it done, but I told them that I've booked it.
Right. Okay.
So you can't.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. Yeah, because I knew what they would say.
Right. Because your dad's like, I need to do this now.
Yeah, he is. Honestly, he sees it and he's like, oh, actually.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, but I think for them, they were just worried, or more like, God, when does it stop? Like, when does it end? Kind of thing.
It's a good question, though.
But and I can see why they think that.
Is there, like, in your head, is that it?
No, that is it, in my head, because they were the
two things.
Yeah, the two things I wanted.
Because you can go, like, full hog on, like, nose, ears.
Yeah, you could, but I know, and it can become like an addiction. Like people get addicted to doing things, but no, it wasn't like that. Like I knew I wanted these. I just sped the process up of my hair.
I think it's a really interesting conversation to have, because you see it all the time with young girls online, and they're getting fillers or Botox or whatever it may be to make themselves feel better. And there's this big narrative in the media about how toxic social media is, making young girls want to, I guess, aspire to be this like level of beauty. And I know from being around my friends that that's also there for guys, whether it's people in Men's Health magazine looking shredded, but not saying that they're actually on steroids. Or, social media in general pushing guys to look a certain way. And I think that I've never really talked to anyone that's actually gone through having any kind of surgery or any kind of enhancement because of them being on socials. So it's interesting to hear.
Yeah, I feel like you don't really expect it. Like I didn't really in the process think this is a result of doing socials, but especially the hair, like it is. But I do think that, which is why I don't want to ever put that message out there as well. Yeah. Like, to be like, I'd hate to think like you're setting a like standard for like other people to like uphold to, but which is why I think people love like the eating videos or something, because they say like it's just like real. Like people don't like. There's a lot of eating vlogs or things out there where it's like, what I eat on my cut, or like, do you know what I mean? It's very like unhealthy side of it.
Yeah, mate, 100%. And I think that is exactly why you need to share the story of your jaw, and of your hair transplant, because it's being real.
Yeah,
because if you just went out there and next month you had like the perfect jaw, and
yeah,
the perfect hairline, and didn't say anything, new people who find you would just be like, oh, here's this perfect looking guy. When really, like you've gone through stuff to get there, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But to actually be honest and authentic about it is important.
Yeah. So I can't wait to like document all of that. Like especially for my YouTube, I'm starting that. Because I'm going to be posting later this year. So like documenting the whole journey kind of thing.
What I know you mentioned earlier, like being a YouTuber was something that you always kind of aspired to be, or it was always like an idea in your head. What's your feeling like with YouTube? Because it's a very different beast to TikTok.
I mean,
a very different side of you as well. Yeah,
it's more me. It's like a lot more personal than like TikTok is very quick fire, obviously short form content. But the actual content I'm going to be putting out would be what I'm putting on TikTok, just longer form, more personal, like vlogs, hauls and things, like what I would do short form but long form, and just really kind of getting across like personality a bit more, and doing just more like what I'm like day to day, or like more in-depth fashion videos, because I want to do more again, which is why I wanted my jaw done, like talking to camera, like sitting down, like doing kind of like chats and things. So once I'm ready for that, I'll be starting that.
And can we talk about the brand?
Yes. So
what is the plan? Tell us anything you can.
So it was always my dream as a child to own my own fashion brand, like clothing brand.
So have you always been into clothes? Sorry to like jump around here, but like, from like a young age, you've been like, I love like
maybe not.
Are you the annoying kid that like you look back 10 years and they still look good?
Oh no, I looked. Like, if you look at me when I was like 8 to like 12, like I was wearing like not nice stuff. Like it wasn't good.
Sorry, I threw you off, but so it's always been like a dream, I guess, to have that. Have that brand. That's
like I was always interested in like design or like businesses in kind of general. So I always wanted to then have my own clothing brand, because then I did fall into like liking fashion and having an interest in that. But the issue of any clothing brand is the marketing channel. Like, how are you going to sell it? Because there's so much competition out there to stand out, but also to then market it and get sales initially. But then I fell into Trendway, which was a place to sell other people's brands. We didn't have to like own the stock, own the items, or take control of like the checkout experience and things. But really, like my passion still lies in like designing clothes, and like knowing as well with the TikTok then kind of like taking off, and like me doing that full time, and like having the channel to like market and sell things, where I was like selling other clothes brands and things. I thought, well, now's like the perfect time to do this kind of thing, because people have an interest in it and there's a place to sell it kind of thing. So I've started the initial, I do have a name, I do have like designs and everything. I do have initial samples, which I do really like the look of. And I've worn them out to like a few festivals, and like a lot of people have been like, where's it from? Which is a good sign. That filled me with hope.
That's good, like guerrilla market research.
I've like I've put them in a few videos, a couple of videos, not said where it's from. A YouTube shorts as well. And people are asking where it's from. So like, and that was like the very initial sample. So it's going to be like old money mixed with streetwear, like modern tailored looks. So like things where you could wear like day to day, you can wear on a night out, but you can also wear in the day, but like it's got a sense of like individuality to it. And it's not too out there, because a lot of like streetwear looks or like contemporary brands can be quite bold, and a lot of men don't like to wear bold stuff. They're a bit scared to do that. So it's kind of like combining the two, like a happy place in between, really. So I've started that. I haven't really got a set aim date to launch.
It's hard, isn't it, to put that into place, because you've got so many things you've got to go through, whether it's the samples.
It's not a rush.
No.
Obviously there's a lot going on anyway at the moment, like content to get out and like the jaw surgery and things. So like I am doing it, but not rushing it.
Based on the type of stuff you're designing though, is there like a season that makes the most sense to launch, or are you kind of doing every season?
The first collection will be like throughout all the seasons, like you can wear it.
Cool.
Because I want like a timeless piece that is known by the brand, like everyone knows it to be from X brand kind of thing. But then I will do like seasonal collections once we know the launch date. Like I would like to do like a ski collection, kind of like different seasonal parts and like really exclusive drops as well. Around that.
Are you going to use influencers?
I will, but not at the start. Like
I
would just keep it like, I kind of don't want to at all really for like a long period of time. Really just kind of build it up organically and like put it in places, maybe like out of the box kind of marketing with it. A bit different, switching it up. Which I'm going through kind of brainstorming now.
Mate, it's very, very exciting. So best of luck, because I know how long and how hard that kind of journey is. Mate, I've loved talking. The final question I've got, and I ask everybody this in some roundabout way, but in terms of building a social media profile, what's your biggest lesson that you can give to anybody that's trying to build a social media profile right now?
I would say stay true to yourself. So don't look at what other people, it's very easy to look at what other people are doing, what other creators are successful, they're doing, and kind of like replicating that. But you can never replicate it. Like it won't be the same as them, or it probably won't do as well for you. So just doing content that you truly like, that you find value in and is original to you, and also consistent is just probably the number one thing for me.
Consistency,
like always just posting daily. Like even if you don't like the video, just post it. And keep going with that, because if you fall off, in my head, even if I fall off one day, like you fall behind, kind of thing.
Amazing. Rob, thanks so much, mate.
Thank you.
Cool.